Today's part of our Business Spotlight program. I'm talking with Mary Clifford, who's the Managing Director of Advanced Technical Concepts, or ATC for short. They're based in Shannon. So over to you, Mary. What is it you do and for how long you've been doing it?
So hi, Kevin. So I'm the managing director here in the ATC Group, as you just mentioned. I'm in this role since 2010, and what we do is we provide a range of engineering solutions, and in particular, those would be customized to address each customer's unique production challenges. So that might be anything from improving material flow to increasing efficiencies, optimizing space, reducing waste, or delivering ergonomic improvements.
Okay. So it'll be across Ireland, or is it wider than that?
It's mainly across Ireland, but we do export some of our solutions too. We tend to deal with a lot of the corporates, and sometimes they ask us to help with other sites too.
All right. Okay. So yeah, where they might exist elsewhere. That's good. And you've been growing over that period of time. What do you attribute your growth to?
I guess I would say it's essentially our people. I'm a big believer in getting the right people on the bus, as Jim Collins would put it. But also, as Jim Collins would put it, luck favors the persistent. And I think, in my time, in the 14 years I'm being an MD here, we've obviously seen a lot of different challenges, and it's about a lot of hard work, putting your head down, getting on with it, building the relationships, and really, yeah, persevering, offering an excellent service so that customers will come back time and time again.
So recurring business. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay, good stuff. And if you had to start from square one in business, what would you do differently?
There's a lot of things I might do differently.
Well, maybe square one or
But
two, yeah.
yeah, no, if I were to pick one, I guess I would pick 2 second lean, which is something that has been uh, put out there by Paul Akers. So 2 second lean is essentially where you adopt, I suppose, the lean philosophy, but it's done in such a practical manner. And it's really about building a culture, building your people, empowering them to come up with the improvements. They're on the floor, they're doing the job. They know what will make their life easier. So definitely, I think if I were starting over again, I would have that as would have started with that, and I think would have made probably progress a lot faster and built a culture a lot faster too.
Culture, yeah. I mean, that's coming across in a lot of the interviews I'm doing. Getting the culture right and getting everybody and protecting, defending that culture as well as you go forward. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Like we would be big believers here of having, like, we would have our behaviors very clearly marked out, and we depict what high and solid behaviors are. And that creates the alignment, and it makes it very clear what the expectations from all of us, including myself, are. So whether it's communication flow or trust or mutual respect, but the 2 second lean side of things, that really helps us drive that too then. All our staff participate in daily morning meetings, and we'd have a bit of time looking at a learning video about maybe what constitutes one of the eight wastes and how we might, remove that, or how do we add extra value to what we're doing. So that continuously drives that improvement and creates that communication piece that's so important.
Fantastic. And just for our viewers, 2 second lean, what is that, or what is that for you?
So it's really where we allow our staff time every day to obviously attend the morning meeting, which is generally no more than 15 minutes. And then we allow them time to 3S, which is they sort, shine, and standardize their work areas. And during that time, they might come up with a small improvement that might be just labeling a piece of equipment so that if someone else finds it, they know where to return it. So very, very simple improvements a lot of the time. That's probably 80% of our improvements are very, very simple. But they're all about fixing what bugs us, leaving it better than we found it. Or if I ask a question, that's where the answer should be. So just making life easier for themselves and for the next person.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, brilliant. Um, well, I think you covered some of it here, but what are your biggest learnings since you've been in business?
My biggest learnings.
Well,
I
I'm sorry, as an employer, I
As
suppose.
an employer, sure. No, I definitely, and a lot of people say it's about the people, but I think it's really living that and really empowering your people to make the best decisions they can make. I'm a big believer in building systems and letting people do what they do best. So I think it's leading with humility for sure. It's recognizing that, in a leadership role, it's about bringing the best people together, but it's letting them then, get on with it and getting out of their way to let them do so, but giving them whatever tools they might need to do their job. Um, yeah, I think really that humility piece and just, most people mean well. I mean, people just want to come to work, do a good day's work and go home again. And if we can influence that their daily life and they go home happy, that ripples out into the family home and out into the community. And I'd like to think that would be our legacy here.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And the other one then, and we get some interesting responses to is how do you balance your personal life with the demands of running a business?
This can be very challenging at different times in our life, obviously. And I suppose I was a single mom of two girls. So for a long time I didn't manage it very well, I would say, being quite frank. I think over the years I've learned to get better at it. Um, and I think it's about finding what works for each and every one of us. And for me, that was blocking blocks of time in my calendar and being very mindful of my time and recognizing that it's not necessarily having to be 8 to 10 hours in the office, that it's more the impact of the time that I'm here that's going to drive things forward. But yeah, blocking time for my girls, blocking time for myself, and obviously then the business. But I think, yeah, we all have 24 hours in the day. It's how can we maximize that without burning ourselves out either, which is a big danger too for a lot of people in a senior leadership position. And it is challenging. I think sometimes we're told it can be done, and it can be, but I think there's times, to be fair, that we have to prioritize family, and there's other times we have to prioritize the business.
So
Uh,
getting
I
that
think,
balance, as we say, the famous work-life balance. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think the pendulum swings obviously at different times. So, yeah.
Yeah, very good. It's one I come across a lot, and getting that right. I mean, if you get yourself right, you can work much better in the business. There's no point burning yourself out. You,
Absolutely.
it won't work for you, it won't work for the business. There's no point in it. I think you've touched on this already, but what qualities do you look for in employees, and how do you foster a positive and productive work environment? I think you've touched on some of it, but maybe just to summarize that.
So I suppose the big thing for us when we're hiring would be we would look for a can-do attitude and very much an open mind. If someone is willing to listen to different ways of doing things or explore different ways and I suppose has that mindset where they're continuously striving to see how things might be done a bit better. It might be marginal gains, but those marginal gains over time will add up. So it's really that open mind to consider different ways of doing things and that can do attitude. I think for a lot of things we can train, and we would be very open to helping anyone progress once they show that initiative themselves.
Yeah, it's the old one, isn't it? You hire for attitude and train for skills, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more again with that. So maybe just to round up, Mary, what are some of the common misconceptions about running a business and how do you address them?
Um, I think I think maybe that, it's easier that that success is often overnight when in fact it's a hard slog a lot of the time. But I think if we can make it as enjoyable as possible, and for me that's building people and seeing people grow. So I think again, I mentioned it earlier, perseverance. It's a long game for most entrepreneurs, and it's slowly wins the race. It
Okay.
just day after day, keep doing the basic things well, and it'll start to add up. So yeah, I think that's what I would say. How I deal with the perception of it. I mean, with our own people here, we're very transparent on our results and how we're doing and what we're planning and where we're going. And you know and if I'm talking to other business people or anyone starting on the journey, I would be frank, but I wouldn't want to frighten them either. I think sometimes it's good to not know maybe all the pitfalls, because it's life. It's like life. I think it's a roller coaster at times, and it's just doing your best at that particular point in time. I think after that, no one can point a finger at you.
Very good. Listen, yeah, as I say, that's a good analogy. It's like life. There'll be ups and downs, there'll be stuff. But my own take on it from talking to entrepreneurs and business owners, when you do get it right, it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
And it's certainly when it is gotten right, you don't see yourself back working for somebody else, you know.
No, no, and I can't imagine working for someone else, at this stage. I mean, there's a great freedom too that comes from it, to be fair, and the independence, and being able to drive the vision, and that's something I particularly love. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
wouldn't go back to working for someone.
Okay. Fantastic. Me neither. So listen, Mary, it's been great talking to you today. I really appreciate you taking the time out. There's lots of stuff in there for our viewers, and I really think that's it's been very fruitful. Thanks again.
Thank you, Kevin. Lovely to talk to you. Thanks.